do this in prime time, under the bright lights for you on the sidelines, and fans in the stands keeping doubly pride high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Kepleys, old spaghetti legs, Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E's a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.
A season ending all too familiar in this city. The Edmonton Elks will finish off their season with their last regular season game and no playoff football for the city of Edmonton. A season of ups and downs, an 0-7 start. A GM and a head coach fired a run where the team looked like true Grey Cup contenders. Ultimately, though, the season ends with the team missing the playoffs. Edmonton wraps up their 2024 campaign tonight, hosting Toronto at Commonwealth Stadium. Elks Argos, it's Friday night football, but first, this is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Just Matt Iwanyk at the moment, live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge as the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That just wrapped up 30 minutes ago, and Jay Milne has to rush from our studios out in the West End all the way here to Century Casino, so he should be here in mere minutes. And we are live just on YouTube today as it is a busy day here in the city of Edmonton. Elks Argos getting set to take place down at Commonwealth Stadium. But first, what we'll be getting going in about 30 minutes time down at Rogers Place, it will be the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Edmonton Oilers. And we've got the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show going on right now on both our YouTube channel, like we are on with the YouTube channel right now. For the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, Hernan Salas and YouTube Trev, they got you with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They also are on the audio stream. It doesn't matter because you're tuned into the YouTube stream, but in about 30 minutes, we'll take over the audio stream for the rest of the Kickoff Show. But you still got time to come down and join us here at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the game. Obviously, I don't have to talk to the audio stream people. It is just the YouTube today. As you can see behind me, loaded of TVs. We've got the World Series going on. We've got Ottawa and Hamilton. And while we are here for the Elks game, the Elks and the Argos will be on the TVs. Oilers Pens will be on the screen with sound. That's the game they're going with on the sound tonight. Rightfully so, as that is a big matchup for the Edmonton Oilers. And for 2024, this really doesn't matter for the Elks. But we'll be able to watch the game still here at Century Casino. We'll be able to watch Oilers, Pens, Elks, Argos, World Series, Yankees versus Dodgers. There's a college football game which has Louisville and Boston College, and then you got the Ponies going on. So it's all happening here at Century Casino. 6 o'clock or lager on special. Game day special. I should have asked this. The game day special for the Oiler game is the smoked brisket nachos for $15. This cheese and jalapeno smoky is the game day special for the Elks games, and that's on for $14. So lots to choose from here at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day. It's been a fun season here for Jay and myself. Well, I see him walking in right now. He will be shortly, but you have lots of time to come join us and watch both the Oilers game as well as the Elks game. As Jay gets settled in right away here, let's take a look at the starting lineup for your Edmonton Elks. Trey Ford will be the starting quarterback, although Jared Daggy expected to get some snaps in this game. Justin Rankin is the running back with Leak and his as his backup. Take your time, set up. You got time. I'm good. You set up properly. If you need to get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever, Jay. Get ready. What do we got in the receiving core? Lewis, Mitchell, Jones, Mathis. It lists Gittins Jr. on the starting depth chart, but late game stretch, he got injured in practice this week, so Smith will be the starting slot back in this one. Defensively, the D-line, Curtis Pelly, Oakman, and Brown. Morgan in between Anderson and Moncrief, and in the secondary, Gray, Bratton, Purifoy, Jackson, and Bynum. Blanchard is going to kick. Julian is going to punt. Boris Beatty is out of this game, placed on the one game, but Blanchard, who they had in training camp, and apparently was doing extremely well. He didn't want to stick around on the practice roster, but they do sign him this week. He's going to get the start. So is this a prelude to the fact that maybe this team will make a move on from Boris Beattie in the offseason if Blanchard could do rather well in the kicking game for the Edmonton Elks? But there's the one little change. Outside of that, it's pretty much the Edmonton Elks starting lineup that we've seen the majority of this season. As for the Toronto Argonauts, there are some changes. Jake Seresna is going to get the start defensively. No Chad Kelly. He's actually listed as the third quarterback in this game. Cameron Dukes will get the start as the Toronto Argonauts. They will be playing playoff football. They'll be hosting the East semifinal next Saturday, taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks. So they want to be ready and going for that one. So there's your starting lineup for the Edmonton Elks and some players for the Toronto Argonauts. Even Kadeem Carey not even listed as the starting running back for the Argos. Weather for today's game down at Commonwealth Stadium. Kickoff, it's supposed to be about 3 degrees by the time the game ends, around the 0 mark for this one. To come on the show of the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, 3 stories brought to you by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers. When an accident happen, give James H. Brown a call. We'll get to our cool bet props. We got keys, we got predictions. And we're going to have some fun with this one. We don't have to go too deep into this one because ultimately for the Edmonton Elks, it doesn't matter for 2024. I will be keeping my eye on very closely, though, when it comes to that baseball game. Right now, 0-0 in the middle of the second as well.
Concert guy's here.
Which guy's here?
Concert guy. He's here for Elton John.
Oh, no way.
Here in his leathers now. Must be like...
Oh, I wonder if there's a concert here tonight. Is Century fully loaded today with... full load of TVs here and events? Oh, you got the KISS experience.
Yeah, tell me about this.
The I got you muted, so I'm going to unmute you there. Icons, the KISS experience. They're here at Century Casino tonight. It's all happening in Edmonton. The Howlers going on.
Night.
The Whale and the Wolf are playing tonight. Everything's happening. Jay, welcome.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. How was the drive in? You took that Henday?
Yeah, I'm a Henday guy.
Yeah, but it's like you have to go off your way to get onto the Henday.
I got burnt by a speeding ticket in the construction zone on the Yellowhead.
I don't even take Yellowhead. Go up to 137th, cut across straight 137th, come down on Fort Road.
Now that's hardcore.
That's the way.
So I did go to the Henday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And in my mind, I was thinking, okay, this is 66th Street. Got to take the 66th Street exit. Clearly not the case. So then I realized quickly that I was not on it should have been the Manning Freeway.
Yeah, you want to go to the Manning is the easier. 66 not bad.
It's not terrible.
It's not like you missed the turn too late. You turned too soon.
It was all right. It was all right.
I do have to. We'll get to Elks right away here. Not happy with my friend Jeff Kersell.
He burnt you today.
I was happy with Reed to a degree. He picked the Yankees to win the World Series, and then you for me were picked the Yankees, and I was like, this is my favorite afternoon show. And then Reed has to go with, but I'm cheering for the Dodgers.
Yeah, what was that?
I understand what he's saying, but
I think that was a cop out.
Yeah, because now he could be like, if the Dodgers win, I'm happy, but if the Yankees win, goes, I was right.
Yeah,
and then he's coming at. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to get into that.
Maybe he's
that's a story.
Maybe he's the afternoon Mr. Lean.
Your thoughts welcome in the nasty chat. You can also jump into the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. I really hope you do as well, because right now there's a lot of Oiler ones in there, and I kind of want to mess with the boys.
Oh yeah.
I want them to get like those Elks questions too, because I think they might forget that we have the split stream going on right now. You're here in time for question of the night.
Good. I know nothing. I have nothing. Thank you for printing out my depth charts.
He's
looks like we're playing the Manitoba Bisons. The ink cartridge mustn't have been changed out by this time.
I changed it after that one.
I see.
Question of the show. It's not multiple choice. You got to think about it, and it leads to a little bit of a discussion. Question of the show for today's game. In a sentence or less, how would you describe the 2024 season for the Edmonton Elks? While you think about it, would you like me to give mine then? Or are you ready?
No, because yours might skew because I hold your opinion in high regard.
That's the mistake right there. I haven't seen any Grays yet. I'm just going to throw that out there. I forgot to say.
I would say the team is moving in the right direction, needs some directional shift from the top. but good things are on the horizon.
There's a lot of commas in that sentence.
There was a lot of commas
in that sentence.
I like how you caught that. Yes, there were 3 commas. I think grammatically it was poor. And Reed's a grammar king. I love working with Reed because you know me. I love grammar and proper grammar, although I'm guilty of screwing it up from time to time, but who isn't? But I think that sentence grammatically had too many. Maybe it could have used a semicolon after the first statement.
Sure. I never know how to use a semicolon. I'm not going to lie. That one always confused me. Deacon St. John saying sad the season is over tonight. So yours, there's a positive look to that one. Like you're looking at this, that it's not as doom and gloom as it once was in the season, and there's good things to look ahead to in 2025.
Yeah, you know me, I'm a half glass full kind of person, so yes, that is mine.
Tube Socks jumping into the nasty chat. Could have been better. I'm thinking that's for us, and I hope that the boys see that one because that works perfect because you don't know what that means. It doesn't reference the Elks, and it might mess with Hernan and YouTube Trev. So well done, Tube Socks, on nailing that in multiple ways. I'm going with it's a wasted season. They wasted this season. I going to say I don't like saying this outright in these words as much as this might shock people, but I was right. And many of you were right as well. This season wasn't exactly supposed to be about wins. It was supposed to be growing this franchise and taking the step forwards. And most notably, quarterback's the thing. Today, we do not know who the starting quarterback should be or will be for 2025. We don't know that answer. Last year, at the very least, like they almost even taken a little bit of step back. Because last year, many people would have said, well, it's going to be Trey Ford as the starting quarterback. But today, we cannot definitively say who should be the starting quarterback for this team.
I don't think that's a problem.
I do, because partly on that is we should have been able to say at the end of this season whether we believe Trey Ford is or isn't a starting quarterback in the Canadian Football League. And the detractors of Trey Ford cannot say that. The detractors of Trey Ford can't say he can't be the starting quarterback. But the people in the pro-Trey Ford camp, we can't say that he's definitively a starting quarterback in the Canadian Football League either yet. And we didn't get that because he didn't play enough this season. They should have went with him this year so we could have had that definitive answer where you could have honestly felt like, no, this guy is the star quarterback of this franchise for the next 10 years. Or, oh boy, this team needs to go they need to be in on the VA race this offseason because it's not working. And that's to me where this is a wasted season, is that we should have had a little bit more clarity when it comes to the future of this position of quarterback. And I don't think we'd have that, and I think we've actually taken a step back from where we were 1 year ago today. That's where I go with it.
Yeah, and I agree with you somewhat. I think it was mismanaged with Trey Ford at one specific junction of the season, which was the Winnipeg back-to-back, where he laid an egg in the first game. He said he laid an egg, but they never gave him a chance to respond. And for me, that was mismanaged because that is you back a quarterback into the corner and make him fight for his right
to punt.
To say, look, I'm the guy. I can bounce back. I can do this. I can handle this role. And they never afforded him that opportunity. So for that, I will say, yes, it was mismanaged. But, as well, I would also have to say that there were some positive things that happened with this club, which, I've pointed to it before. I'll point to it again, that this team has an owner. And I think that is going to benefit the Edmonton Elks in the future. I think it's going to, obviously, and I'm sure we're going to discuss about it, but there's things that need to happen and moves that need to be made for this team to get focused and figure out how they can get back to the winning identity that is associated with the Edmonton Football Club for so many years. So I don't say it's a failure as much as you would.
I didn't say failure. I said wasted season. They wasted this season.
What's the difference?
Because it's not a failure of a season. They just wasted away this season in terms of they didn't fail, but they also didn't succeed. It was just, it happened. But they didn't take any step forward to me in major, like real step forward into getting back this franchise to getting back to where it needs to be. Where some of the answers that should have been asked, we now still have to go into 2025 we have to still go try to get answered. Like if this team chooses to go with Trey Ford, let's say, as the starting quarterback next year, there's still not a guarantee that he's actually the legit starting quarterback in this league.
There shouldn't, yeah.
But had we played this season and they went with him next year, it would have been because, well, we're looking at the season going, okay, no, there's a starting quarterback there. That you can't just look at, okay, well, he only beat the weaker defenses. It would probably be a bigger sample size of going, well, no, actually, look at what he did in this game, and this game, he's a starting quarterback in this league. Feel a little bit more development, and yeah, he's the face of this league type thing. The fact that they could go with Trey Ford or whatever they might do, we don't have a definitive way to look at it, and that's why this is a wasted season. That with the same questions that we had this year, we're going to still have next year.
I don't know about that. I don't know that we will, because this team's going to be taken in a different direction. There's going to be I believe there's going to be maybe not top to bottom, but a fairly new coaching staff implemented. And, you know, I've said this before, and I'll say the same thing. I don't like really discussing this because there are people's livelihoods at stake. It is a sensitive subject, but this is also professional sports. So as much as I would wish a person like Jarius Jackson the best, I don't think he's the right guy for the head coaching job. I've said it as well, that I still think he could be a serviceable and possibly good offensive
He'll
coordinator.
have a job somewhere next year.
Yes, he will.
Or if he wants one, there should be a job for him somewhere in the Canadian Football League next year if he's not the head coach of the Edmonton Elks.
Spency 5 Centsy, what a crazy season. Would be nice if the Double E can finish on a high note. I agree. Spency 5 Centsy, you and I are in this together. Our dear friend VR Montenegro, who I believe is going to be showing
on it too.
Showing up as well, is also on it. And it was definitive. I don't want to hijack.
That's going to be one of our stories.
Okay.
We're going to get to that.
Let's get to that.
There's only so many stories for today's game. Story number one. And this is now, let's get to three stories brought to you by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Alberta's Injury Lawyers.
There's Deb.
I remember her name, I think. When injuries happen, I'm trying to do this liner. Trent's going to be upset if he's watching. Alberta's Injury Lawyers. When accidents happen, give them a call. JamesHBrown.com. They're the people to be with for any type of things. No, there's a lot going on here at Century.
If Trent saw the outfit that just walked by, he would not be upset with having to interrupt his liner.
I saw it going the other way too, and I'm wondering if it's like,
this is Kiss, baby.
Is she wearing two outfits? Is there two bottoms that she's wearing?
That's a good question.
Because one of the it looked like part of it's missing, but there's something there. You know what I mean? Without getting too.
How do I say this politely? I don't think there is a way to say it politely. Somewhat age inappropriate?
No, I wouldn't say that. Well,
come on.
We need a Maddie and a glue guy POV cam. I'd say, Matt, you got to come join us, but you're out in Winnipeg, so I understand that. There's a lot going on. Last time there was a big show here. Who was here for that?
Elton John.
It was Elton John. Was Tube Socks here for that one?
Mm-hmm.
And we had a time that night.
Well, guess what? The people watching is going to happen tonight, baby.
There's going to be a lot. We got people watching. We've got Elks, Argos. We got Oilers, Pens, World Series, the horses. It's all happening.
Bears football.
Bears football. They need the win.
Game tonight.
Huge win. But we got to go to our three stories. And the first story for this game, this is the one that's most notably on the game. And it's, look, for the Edmonton Elks, we could sit here. We could say it's meaningless. For 2024, it is. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're pretty locked in to fourth spot in the CFL West. They're not going to finish last in the West, so they've taken a step up. There's not much to deal with 2024. But for the coaching staff, for the players, it's now on to 2025. You need to be playing for your job here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuses of coming out with a dud today. It should all be on the line to show that, not even just the Elks, but that you're worthy of a job somewhere in the Canadian Football League next year. That's what we need to see from this team. We need to see some give a you-know-what meter up high. Even though the fans aren't going to fully be there, even though there's an Oiler game tonight, even though there's a lot of other, not as much attention, you want a job next year? you got to still play because you're being employed for this one. That's the biggest story for me.
Absolutely. There's there are definitely some new faces on. I mean, I'm sure you went over it, but this is an extended job interview to see if certain players will be brought back or released by the club. But it's still a meaningful game. And here's the thing: out of playoffs, in playoffs, it doesn't matter. Even the players that are suiting up for the Argonauts. I mean. I haven't even looked at the depth chart for the Argonauts, but
backup QB, backup running back, although he gets some time. I'm assuming you will see more of the backups go in as the game progresses. You obviously in football you can't take everyone out. It's just impossible. But you will start seeing those changes.
This is still competitive people competing against each other. So you're going to have an energetic game. Now, I mean, if the Elks don't steamroll this team right now, then there are serious questions.
Do you expect a steamroll, or is it just they have to be mostly in control of this game?
Controlled steamroll. Let's say that. Let's say a bit of both. But this should be a double-digit win at least.
Double-digit win?
At least.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, and Trey Ford should be demanding that.
Yeah,
there's a lot on this game for him, Matt.
Well, I'll say this for Trey Ford, because I said this going into last week. I think he was in a lose-lose situation. If he does well, everyone goes, "You're playing against nobody. It's the end of the season. Doesn't matter." If you lose, the detractors point out and go, "Yeah, see, he's not a starting quarterback." I think for Trey Ford, you have to go out there, and the goal today is to make sure that your detractors can't point and be like, "This guy can't play in the Canadian football league." That's your goal today.
Yes.
That's like you're not going to win the detractors over by saying, "No, this guy is a starting quarterback in this league," but you can't give him the ammo as to pointing this guy can't do it.
That's right.
This is a preseason game to a degree of opponent in a way. As this game progresses, you're going to get into you're getting into a little more of the B team of the Toronto Argonauts. In preseason, they're trying to win football games too.
Yeah, but what do you use preseason games for, right?
But the Elks, it's an A team. We're not going to see a lot of, we shouldn't see a lot of B team. They should be going at this all out.
Sure.
And so that's where I'm with you. Trey Ford needs to kind of cook today and control this game.
Absolutely.
Where then you feel like, we're not going to walk away and then be like, see, this proves this guy's going to be an MOP next year with this league. But you can't be looking at him going, well, look at that in that last game when, in the third quarter when Toronto really wasn't playing anyone, Trey Ford didn't do anything. There's 3 straight 2-and-outs. Like, you can't do that if you're Trey Ford.
Well, just looking at the depth chart, I mean, safe to say the writing's on the wall for Kevin Brown, right?
It would have to be. I think Link was a 1-year deal. So that's the only question. Can you bring Leak back?
Yeah, he's not going to get paid any more anywhere else because he was injured this year, so there's not enough of a body of work. I think you can get Javon Leak at the same rate. See, this is a concert guy. So last time, remember he was wearing the shirt.
Oh, you want to know something? He has outfits for the show.
Yeah. So last time it was Elton John, so he wore piano keys on his shirt.
Yeah,
and today's Kiss.
So he's got
the leathers on,
the biker jacket on, the biker vest on.
I love it, and he knows everybody.
Well, if you're that guy, wouldn't you know everybody?
Remember he's giving him hugs.
He's going all sorts of these tables. Wow, this place is packed.
He's like the Century Casino Pope.
This guy's got a Metallica shirt on. He's going to the show for sure. For sure. This is something else. Like
I've never seen more leather in my life.
Oh, then she was at the Elton John show too. The one in the behind the red hat. Yes.
Yeah. I know she dressed to the nines.
They're like a crew. Like maybe there's like season tickets to the Century shows or something. I don't.
There
or
would
maybe
be at like the Mayfield dinner theater. Yes.
Wonder if they're into that, or like these people just love coming to Century for concert.
No.
I feel like now I need to come to Century for a concert.
No,
to see
what you
they're
said
missing.
is making so much sense because
there's got to be something.
These people get together. They get engaged into the concert that they're attending. Yeah, let's check into this.
I want to see what's coming up. What do we miss? Like what's coming still? I guess the showroom. Purchase tickets. Let's go. Okay, we got Ticketmaster. So
Kiss.
Lisa.
Okay, so that's country night.
Prism's here.
Outlaw Country. John Cash and Waylon Jennings.
That's actually Prism.
What do you mean? Of course it is.
Awesome. actually, I wouldn't mind going to see a tribute to Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings. It's Grey Cup weekend on the Saturday.
Harlequin, Chilliwack,
I've
Street
heard
Art.
of Harlequin. I just can't believe Prism. Like, I would have thought that they're like, I don't know how big Century's showroom. Now I'm very fast. I'm gonna have to ask Renee how big their showroom is. I thought Prism's like a Shaw Conference Center type thing. I get maybe not. Maybe not. This is gonna be. Oh, my dad. It's packed for you guys. You're not even here. That shows how much of a lion that one is. Now we got distracted very easily there. Just hugs all around. It's all happening here at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. But yeah, I guess back to the game because we're here to discuss the game. Trey Ford, he needs to go out there. He needs to go cook. Rankin will be back next year. Leak, we'll see if they could sign. I guess the one thing I would say is we will look a lot more closely at the 2025 Edmonton Elks and who should stay or who should go. But I guess of everyone, Rankin's one of probably the top guys that I would say probably doesn't need a big game in this one. You know, Gino Lewis, it's going to be a question of, is the money right? And would he want to come back to the Edmonton Elks? But beyond that, like, in a lot of the spots, they're going to have to go play for it. But Justin Rankin's played so well that I think he just got his spot on next year. And we will get to that, like I said, in the post-game show of this one. Is look, there's not going to be too much of the game to dissect for the Green and Gold post-game show. We will look a lot ahead to the 2025. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne with here live on YouTube, the Edmonton Sports Talk YouTube channel for the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Elks Argos coming up just after 7:30 at Commonwealth Stadium. If you don't want to sit out in the cold, come down to Century Casino, where we got the wall of TVs of all the sports going on, all the daily specials, all the people watching. It's all going to be happening here at Century Casino. In just a few minutes, I do got to connect us to our audio stream, as we will then take over the audio stream from the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. You got yourself a drink?
I did.
Good.
There's so much going on. This is just too much. This is like this fills my heart.
Well, the only thing is we might have to sit on like the row for tonight.
I'm down with that.
There's not a lot of seats.
I just love the outfits.
And I don't I don't want to say anything too loudly because I don't want to skew anything. But I do have that.
Oh.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see if that gets handed out today. There's 2 front runners for that one.
Yes.
We'll see if that's going to come. Well, let's get into the second story of this game. The award winners for the Edmonton Elks was announced this week. Their team winners, most outstanding player, defensive player, rookie of the year, offensive lineman, special teams, and wide receiver. The most outstanding player of the Edmonton Elks this season, voted on by some members of the media that aren't Jay and Matt. I'm just going to throw that out there. We never got a vote on this.
I'm fine with that.
Gino Lewis as most outstanding player. Yay? Nay?
Nay.
Care to elaborate?
Oh, yes, I do. No, Niles Morgan is the player of the year for this team. He's been the leader of the middle linebacker position. Obviously, him and Nick Anderson, who, by the way, was on the Reed Wilkins show just yesterday. What a great interview. If you want to go back and get an appreciation for Nick Anderson, go back and listen to that interview in the 5 o'clock hour from yesterday's show. But I just, Eugene Lewis was good, but was he great? Niles Morgan was great for this team week in, week out. Obviously, you have to do some juggling, and there's no way they could hand that to Nick Anderson, as he was their Rookie of the Year nominee. And I don't even know who the rest of the nominees are in the CFL, but Nick Anderson will be your Rookie of the Year. There's no other Rookie of the Year that has done what he's doing.
I saw someone in Winnipeg throw out their name, Ontario Wilson. He had just under 1,000 yards receiving, which is like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go over 1,000 yards then.
With that, it's 100 yards tackling or 100 tackles. That's more impressive to me.
That's very, very, very rare air that he and Niles Morgan are in. So I would definitely think he's going to come away with that. And it's nothing against Eugene Lewis. I just feel that Niles Morgan was a player that was every game. Gino had some slumps Safe to say, right?
Well, he didn't start off like he's rattled off a great second half of the season, especially. It wasn't there through the first 5-6 games. There were points in this season where we sat there and we're like, why is there no chemistry between MBT and Gino Lewis? Why aren't they throwing to him?
Yeah.
Whereas to get 100 tackles, to lead this defense, you have to do, as you said, week in and week out.
Yeah.
You can't have a stretch of 4 or 5 games where you're not in the plays and getting tackles and still end up with 100 tackles. Like, Niles Morgan was the heartbeat of that defense. There were times that defense wasn't strong, but there was a stretch where that defense was also, like, fearful. They went at the point not that long ago where they were the #1 turnover team in the Canadian Football League, partly because they were just taking the ball away from people, and that's led by that heartbeat of that defense in Niles Morgan. That when I was going through those with Reed, because he wanted to guess at them, so I pulled it up, I was surprised when I read Gino Lewis's name myself. Not that he had a bad season, not that he was a terrible player, anything. It's nothing like that. I just figured Niles Morgan was, from pillar to post, a more outstanding player for the Elks this season than Gino Lewis.
I mean, there was a few weeks back we were talking about Niles Morgan as the MOP, for this team, or that could potentially win the CFL trophy. And to not even be recognized by your own team was surprising. But, once again, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. I just think that Niles Morgan was more deserving of it than Eugene Lewis.
Welcome to everyone on the audio stream on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio. This is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Iwanyk and Jay Milne with you. If you're still tuned in, that means you were tuned into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show as the Oilers getting set to take on the Penguins. Jay and I are here at Century Casino to get you set for Elks Argos coming up in 30 minutes down at Commonwealth Stadium. But you could join us here at Century Casino where you can watch both games. You can watch Oilers Pens, you can watch Elks, and you can watch the Argos. Oilers game will be the game on sound. So it is the bigger game, obviously, in terms of meaningful for the respective season. But you could come down to Century Casino. Matt Hyman out in Winnipeg going. Ontario had over 200 yards in one game as well when looking at the numbers. But there you go. So that's our MOP. Defensive player, Niles Morgan, then makes absolute sense. If we're saying he should have been MOP, he should absolutely be the defensive player for this team, as Nick Anderson from rookie. I always feel weird with the offensive lineman one, because I don't know how you judge an offensive lineman. I don't know how fans and certain media can judge.
I'll tell you
I
this.
feel like that needs to come from a coaching staff or people who know football a little bit better.
I'll tell you what it is that the amount of sacks that the Elks gave up was not that many.
But then how do you pick between?
Because your left tackle for two right-handed quarterbacks is the most important position on the offensive line. He is protecting your backside. He is protecting your ribs. He's protecting you from major injury. And Ivy did a very good job of that. I mean, off the start, we'd both probably look at a guy like Cordy, who is the general of that offensive line, and I could say there would be an argument for that. But Ivy did, the sacks that the Elks gave up, I'd have to pull up the stats here, but they did well. I mean, we talked about it enough where we've said, look, we didn't talk about the offensive line as much as we thought we would, right? And we were almost surprised by that. But I'd say they're probably middle of the pack.
They were tied.
Up sacks.
They're tied with Calgary for the sacks allowed at 28, the fewest sacks allowed.
Fewest?
Tied with Calgary.
Well, then
Calgary of all people.
That guy might win the offense. That offensive line position because having a left tackle that's leading, having a team lead the CFL in sacks given, that is a huge sign and distinction that left tackle is doing his job.
Fair.
Yeah. So good on that. I totally, when these came back, I mean, there's this going on, taking wrong turns onto 66th Street. I didn't have, that makes sense now. 100% that makes sense.
Special teams, Jake Julian, no question.
Like, if he doesn't win it, this is highway wrong. Well, I guess he's up against field goal. He's up against field goal kickers too, right?
Well, I got to see. I found the CFL article, but they don't have the ones that I'm wanting to look at for the awards.
I guess he is going up against like a player like. Here
we go. Sean White, Rene Paredes, Roland Milligan. because he leads the league, I think, still in special teams tackles. Sergio Castillo, Mark Leggio, Jeremy Grant, who at the start of the year was getting a lot of touchdowns for the Argos. Darius Pickett, special teams tackler. James Letcher Jr. from Montreal. I could see Milligan possibly getting it because of the special teams tackles, but he's in consideration for MOP right now and defensive player. I could see how, I don't know how this fully gets voted on. I could see how maybe there would be a little bit more separation to that one. It's going to be Jake Julian or Roland Milligan that's going to come out from the West. I don't see Sean White, Rene Paredes, or Sergio Castillo getting it from the East. The only one I would consider...
You don't see Rene Paredes getting it?
I think Jake Julian or Roland Milligan get it ahead of him. I think it's one of those two.
Didn't Sean White and break a record or become the all-time leading points getter or something like that?
He set some sort of record, like consecutives or something like that. But I think Jake Julian did something with punting that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, he kicked a lot of rouges.
Offensive line, they don't tell me that some of these positions.
When we look, food smells really good.
A Canadian, Curly Gittins Jr. I think for the Elks on that one, he had a good season. I don't want to take anything away, but it's also almost want to say by default.
Yeah, like who else is there?
Exactly.
Because you can't give it to an offensive lineman. I'm sorry.
Nope. Trey Ford, can't give it to him.
You'd like to have been able.
Oh, you absolutely.
You'd like to have been afforded the opportunity to give it to
say
Trey
he could maybe go get most outstanding player and most outstanding Canadian, but there's no other receiver in the mix. There's no one defensively that you look at Canadian that you go, this guy is it. I think and Curly, like he's deservedly slow, but there was no competition when it came for the Edmonton Elks when we were looking at the most outstanding rookie. I think that's it. That's all the players. Most outstanding player, the list is Justin McInnes from BC, Eugene Lewis from Edmonton, Reggie Bagleton from Calgary, Roland Milligan from Saskatchewan, Brady Oliveira from Winnipeg, Bo Levi from Hamilton, Kadeem Carey from Toronto, Justin Hardy from Ottawa, Tyrese Beverett from Montreal. Whoever is the West nominee, Roland Milligan or Brady Oliveira, they will be the winner of this award. Do you agree?
The only, I guess, Bo Levi would be the only person I would suggest that could get in that way.
But didn't make the playoffs. I think he'll be the nominee from the East, but I don't think he's going to be able to win. When we're talking about we wanted rookie of the year, this is who Nick Anderson will when I look at this list, there's no one there that I would say they're beating 100 tackles.
No.
So there's your...
I mean, Khalil Pimpleton went off against Edmonton, but that's
that
not
was
enough of a body of work to
578 yards this season.
Nope.
I got a little banged up, but he had 2 touchdowns. Both those were against Edmonton, if I'm not mistaken. So there's your award nominees for the Edmonton Elks. This is 3 stories of the game.
It's the same.
It is the same?
It's all one thing.
It's just 2 different materials on the same pants.
It's something.
We got to get our third storyline for James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers, and the guy next to me. It's a big game for him. It's a big game for Lister Villar Montenegro. It's a big game for Spency 5 Sensi. We want to sit here and say the Elks have nothing to play for. We want to sit here and say this game's meaningless. Not to this guy, not to VR, not to Spency. At the start of this year, over under 6.5 cool bet had set for the Edmonton Elks wins. This gentleman and the other 2 and a few others, they put their money where their mouth was and said, we got the over for the Edmonton Elks. The Elks sit at 6 wins. Win today, and these boys cash. They cash. That is the third story of this game, which then leads to a discussion that did take place on the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That started initially with Jay coming to my office today.
We had a discussion.
Do you hedge on this bet? Because the Toronto Argonauts, actually the number's gone down. It's plus 188. So it's even lower.
It
was 160.
Yeah.
So it's dropped.
Jeez. No, don't even. I'm not.
I need to just know what the number is.
There's a reason it's called the Glue Crew, and I was the Glue Crew assembled, and we came up to the point, and we said, look.
Do you hedge?
We're gonna ride or die on this bet. We're gonna sack up, and we're gonna say we're gonna ride with it. The smart play to make is to hedge.
Yeah.
I will say that. But we came into this saying, no, we're going to bet whatever it is, on them to get there, and we are not going to cop out. We aren't going to have some other way to make possibly a smart bet. No, it's a bet, and we're going to ride.
So at 34.73, you win $100.02. I can't make it dead on 100. So if the Argos win, you walk away with 2 cents.
I didn't come here to be cheering for the Argos in week 21.
Yeah, you're not in the end, though. You're not cheering for them. If the Elks win, you take your bet that you would have won X amount of dollars. Well, I guess you guys talked about it, $90. And instead, you would be winning $55.
No.
So you're still taking a victory. You're guaranteeing money. Unless there's a tie.
Stop
Unless
reminding me.
Unless there's a tie.
The common sense Jay is trying to be pulled away from the glue crew.
But I'm going to say this.
I stand on principle.
I don't want to disparage the amount of money, but I don't think it's large enough of a money.
No.
To hedge.
No, I mean, if this was
$1,000, if we're talking 5 figures, I would be on you going, no, you're hedging tonight. You got to hedge tonight. You got to take away that cash. Yeah. But I think with what you've put down, the fact that you did that, you've been riding this all season, that it comes down to game 18, you stick with it. You go with it. But I am confused how Reed doesn't understand the hedging of a bet.
I believe he understands the premise of it, Matty. He's just against the act of it. Because you've waited this long to have your bet come to fruition, to have your bet pay off.
Sure.
And just to go and sprinkle some money elsewhere to say, hey, at least I'm going to come out of... No. You are a winner or a loser tonight, and that'll be determined soon.
But the house wins way more often than not. If you can guarantee money on a larger scale, we're not talking... You do it. And I just don't... I think if you had 5 figures, Reed would still have said you got to ride with it. And he wouldn't have understood the hedge.
Yeah.
Or not understood, like he wouldn't have been in favor of the hedge.
Here's the actual, Matt, 20 times out of 10 times I should be hedging tonight. You know that, I know that. But it is, hey, this was a bet that was laid. And I've got it on authority from the Glue Crew crew. They are not hedging. So if I find out that VR Montenegro or Spency says he hedged, I will be disappointed in them. I won't. It won't last long, but I will be temporarily disappointed. But it is kind of a dream situation for us because there's actually a reason to watch this game. Yeah. I hate to say it.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about it.
But that's so. Yeah, Trey. You want to win this guy over? The guy to my right? Go get him his money.
Get me my money.
Go get him his money. Go cook for Jay, VR, and Spency.
I love it.
And everyone else that had the over. But even if you get 7, you almost had the exact same amount of wins as the previous 2 seasons combined. The Elks in 2022 had 4 wins. Last year they had 4 wins. If you get that win and you have 7, that's some nice progress in that sense. Well, that's a nice step forward for this franchise.
Not backwards,
absolutely.
Right? I mean, you got to take baby steps right now.
100%.
And I feel like, quarterback aside, this just with what's happening off the field, this team is going to be in a better situation to compete. The Grey Cup will be here in 2026. We don't know that affirmatively, but
they're not going to Calgary.
They ain't going to McMahon. This team will be designed to win the Grey Cup in 2026, and it starts tonight.
I will rip the CFL and Randy so hard if they take Calgary. You want to know rant of the year for the Esties next year? Give Calgary the Grey Cup over Edmonton in 2026, and I will be winning the rant of the year at the Esties next year.
I almost had the rant. I had a rant on our show today about a guy that came into a coffee shop.
I heard about that.
And refused to drink out of a paper cup.
I know. I will say this. I have one question. I have one question about this.
Rockstar guy just gave me a nod.
You're in. Did they tell you about the dishwasher?
No, they didn't. When
you ordered?
No.
Then I don't get mad at it. I'm not upset with him. He went to the coffee shop. When you go to a coffee shop, you're kind of expecting to have a sit-down glass. He's probably experienced it before.
Okay.
They should have gave him the heads up.
For those that don't know, went to a coffee place yesterday to meet a friend of mine, actually Nathan from Nate. Right? We were talking about the project. And went to order coffee, went to get my coffee kind of off to the side.
Yep.
and there's a fella there, and he's arguing with the barista, and he says, "I won't drink out of a paper cup. It's filled with poison, and it's
weird.
I don't do it." And it's like, okay. So the barista said, "Look, sir, our dishwasher's broken. We don't have any glassware to offer you right now, so I don't." So right there, I said, okay, if you're Mr. I don't drink out of a paper cup or a plastic cup or whatever they want to serve you a coffee in, bring your own vessel. Bring your own to-go mug. You should know that, okay? It's like if you have a crazy, like you're allergic to everything under the sun except certain things, bring your own damn food to the New Year's Eve party. Okay?
100%.
Yeah, this is the same thing here.
No, here's the thing.
No.
He's been there before, I'm sure. And
I don't think he was,
okay,
though,
but
Matt.
if you go into a coffee shop, like I'm assuming this isn't Starbucks. I'm assuming this isn't Tim
No,
Hortons.
it was Roasty in Sherwood Park.
You go there with the expectation that if you're sitting there, you're going to get it in a mug. You're not expecting to get a travel mug. So you're not expecting to get a paper cup. You're expecting to get in that. So that should have been told at the start. Hey, the dishwasher's broken.
Okay. So
but you don't make a big scene about it.
Well, he did.
I don't like this. Is there any way you can go wash it? I am upset with the place a little bit that
they did go wash him a cup.
Absolutely. Why didn't you just do that at the start? Why?
Because it was busier than snot. Like it was crazy in there.
But how long did he have to fight for it?
10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Then I'm good with those people.
I know, but the premise of it is if you're Mr. I can't drink this because it's
I understand
poison.
where you're coming from. I just think that has to. I understand where if it's not told ahead of time.
Come prepared, dog. And in fact, why are you assuming that the glassware that they're going to give you is not poisonous as well?
No, somebody I heard texted in and said it comes through a paper filter.
The coffee itself.
Like that doesn't make sense now.
A lot of things don't make sense.
I would, yeah.
Let's
I just understand, like, where I will defend a little bit that guy is if they didn't tell you ahead of time, I understand when the paper cup comes, you go, I don't want this. And you weren't
I would have
told
said,
that.
if I was a barista, I would have said, look, sir, come back to the till with me. I'll give you your money back. Go to Tim Hortons. See what you can drum up there.
Go away. But they did that. But actually, they did the right thing. They cleaned for him.
Be gone.
It all ended
I'm
up
sure
well.
they cleaned it really well with their own spit.
You never mess with people that touch with your food and drink.
Nope. I did that here.
that.
I had to send back nachos once, and but this is a
They
Century.
took care of you.
This is Century Casino.
Alex took care of you.
Yes, she did.
She saw it. She took care of
This
you.
is Century Casino. Hey, let's just take a pause here.
Before we do that, because we only got like 12 minutes before the game or so, I want to get to the cool bet props of the game, just so people have time.
Scalding Gord said, which team will Trey Ford have an opportunity to be nominated for an award with next year?
The Double E. I stand by that. Actually, when it comes to the Elks, I'll let you look at cool bet.
I got
what
it.
Do you have? What do you have?
No,
what do you have?
I put a bet in on the Oilers.
Oh, okay.
I put Oilers totals goals over 7. Not the Oilers, the game.
There's a few nice ones today, I would say. A Trey Ford touchdown is plus 175.
I can't be involved in this.
You don't want to be involved? Oh, that's fair.
I can't be.
Then that's perfect, because there's actually a few tonight that I have. Trey Ford over 1.5 passing touchdowns is plus 110. That's plus money. If you're going up against, especially as they get into the second half, a bit of the B team of the Toronto Argonauts a little bit, we think that the Elks should be able to cook a little bit. So him throwing for 2 touchdowns, I think, is possible. I really like that for today. The other thing is he's only done this once this season, but his rushing yards is set at 36.5 for Trey Ford in this one. Last week he rushed for 33 yards. I could see him maybe running a little bit more, just with the sense of trying to, open things up, and it's the last game of the season. Maybe trying some things with that ability to go run a little bit more. So I don't mind the Trey Ford over 36.5 rushing yards, but I really do like the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. What did you want to get to? You want to talk about us at Century?
Well, yeah. This is not officially the end of year one, but we're the end of the kickoff show for year one.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say thank you for bringing me on board. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be a part of the kickoff show. And I wanted to know you know where I'm going to go, but we always talk about this because the food here is fantastic. So we're going to talk about what we're going to eat tonight.
I wanted to go try some other things. Still, there's a lot on this menu.
They're going to pull you back in.
But I feel like it's only right to end the Green and Gold Kickoff post-game shows this year with how it started, and that's the game day special, which is the cheese and jalapeno smoky with the waffle fries. I am going to ask for the vinegar for $14.99.
I wonder if you can ask just for malt.
They didn't have it. We asked
Maybe
that
they do
time.
now because, you know,
Sure.
people have
Kiss
been coming
is in
in
town.
and
Kiss
ask
experience
Kiss
is in town. That's where I'm going with it, though. Is I'm going back. There's a lot on that menu. There's a lot I still haven't gotten to. But I think I got to go back to where it began, which is the cheese and jalapeno smoky. You go to the pizza?
It's so good.
Well done?
Well done.
It's amazing. It's like delicious pizza.
Matt Hyman says hand washing the mug probably doesn't meet industry standards either. No, and
No.
think of what you're hand washing it with, Mr. Poison Guy. It's some of these
The
things.
paper one's a weird one to be upset about.
Hey,
I just
Matt,
know, I
I
just
don't
don't get
care.
that. Yeah. No,
I don't care if you think that this phone is killing you slowly.
No, I get it.
That's fine. But don't come into my
Just deal
place
with
of
it.
business and say that I can't have a phone because it's affecting your ability to enjoy your own self. Sorry, guy. Bring your own reusable mug next time. And that's a Glue Guy exclusive.
I don't have an issue also with like, hey, yeah, bring your own thing.
Well, you should.
Like, even if you're getting the ceramic mug, you don't know how it's cleaned.
Yeah.
It's going to be cleaned with chemicals.
Well, and clearly
So
you have an issue with you're hypersensitive to things that are potentially killing you.
You're convincing me over to your side a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it's also like you then could clean your mugs how you wish.
Yes.
They could pour it in, and it's all on you.
Yeah, and you're Mr. I don't trust a paper cup, but I'll trust a 18-year-old going to the back for 2 seconds and cleaning a mug and bringing your coffee.
What did he order? Just a coffee?
Latte. Because it came in a paper mug with the, like where they put the leaf pattern in it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a beautiful display. And then he said no.
Did they just pour it in?
They
after?
did.
Awesome. He lost
out of the paper cup.
That's just. Oh no! Did they?
Yes. What are they expecting to make a new? Yes, they went poop. Here you go. He said thank you. Like some people, man. He
has no issues with paper then. They just proved it.
Maybe it was his lips touching the paper.
I don't. The whole drink was in the paper already.
The whole theory is flawed from the start.
Oh, that guy! I need to find this guy now because I'm like, how do you not realize? No, you have to make me a new one. I don't drink out of paper.
The whole theory is flawed.
That's even better.
Yeah.
That is like a perfect illustration of The Simpsons. There's an episode where they go to the Duff Brewery, and there's Duff Life, and Duff Dry or something, but they all come from the same faucet. Like, that's what that is in real life.
Yes.
Oh, I can't drink that because it's in paper cup. Paper is not good for me.
Yes.
Oh, well, here's the same drink. Oh, that's amazing. That is absolutely
I don't even
fantastic.
think I mentioned that on the Reed. Reed was like pro cup guy.
No, you didn't hear. I didn't hear you guys bring that up. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I will say this.
Well, it was the fired up segment from Napoleon Gemco Fireplaces.
It was great.
And I got fired up, and then Reed went on the offensive against me.
Oh, and then, well, that's to Zach.
I think in hindsight, he'd probably take that back.
MMA, like, go back to like one a month. Maybe we'll care more.
Thank you.
It's oversaturated.
It's oversaturated.
Like, I think he said something this week. He said there's a big MMA fight this weekend. I was like, you said that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. He's like, oh, that was fight night.
And I was like, well, like, it can't be a big fight every weekend. Yeah, it's like, give it a Tube Socks here. Tube Socks has showed up. We have to wait to see if Ken's going to show up. But he's the front runner. He is the front runner. You here for the Kiss experience? There's a Kiss experience. You're a big Kiss fan, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, Tube Sock's huge Kiss fan. That's what he's telling. He's adamant right now that he loves Kiss. I think he might hurt me for saying that he likes Kiss. I will say with Century Casino, great staff here. It's been great being at Century.
We could sit at the bar.
It's been great here at Century Casino all year. They've been fantastic. All the servers we've had have been great. All the bartenders have been excellent. I'm
actually sad that it's ending.
Renee has been good at setting them up. She obviously hates me and you that she doesn't come and hang out with us.
She said She said you're her favorite. Shut up.
She just says that.
I think she means it.
She was at a Thursday nighter with Eric this year.
Yeah, I know, but when I saw her say that, I could see she meant it in her eyes. See this? I would love to get her on camera. I
just go ask her. But to Renee and everyone here at Century Casino, it's been absolutely fun. I'm going to miss coming here.
Yeah, me too.
And it's everything. The ponies, all
hey,
of
there's
that.
a gray.
You see one?
What a sign.
What number? What number?
Remington Park. Number 3.
2.
3, right there.
Well, but what number is the
gray.
horse?
3. It's the blue.
It is. Okay.
We're on.
I'm getting on. How long do we have?
And with that,
We got 3 minutes.
we got 8.
Oh, I'm going to go quickly. You get this.
we
got time.
Yeah, we got
time. We'll wrap up right away here. We got the World Series. We got Oilers. We got Elks. We got the Ponies. But Century's been fantastic. It's been great being here this year. Hopefully we could continue that next year. We could also join Eric Monday and Thursdays for Monday and Thursday Night Football here at Century Casino. We got to get to a keys and props or keys and keys to an Elks victory. Do you have one?
You know what? Be
There's
consistent.
Sure.
Don't take this for granted that you're playing a bit of a B squad against Toronto. Play this consistently. Call your offensive playbook consistently. Don't stray away. Run the damn ball. Trey, Cook, and we should be a happy glue crew at the end of this.
They should win. Like there is no real key to this one. We're talking about lattes
I hate that
and paper
everybody
cups.
thinks they're going to win. This really,
The key is
I just don't want to let VR and Spency down.
the key for this game is you're the better team. Pedal to the metal. Keep it down. You should be able to win this, unless Jarius decides to really try some different things with Jared Daggy. But I'm with you. You stick with Trey forward for a half. If he's still playing well, you keep him out there. I don't think we really need to know that much
I don't need
on
to see
Jared
Daggy. If he's going, let this young man show what he's worth.
Jay, I don't know if I want to do this to you.
Oh no.
Prediction.
Well, I'll give you a prediction. 52-10.
Oh,
Elks.
love it. Still time to come down to Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Myself and Jay will be here. Tube Socks. Elks, Argos, Oilers, Pens, World Series Game 1, the Ponies. It's all happening here at Century Casino.
Bears football.
Bears football on our laptops. Thanks for tuning in to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Thanks to those listening on the audio stream for the last half hour. Thanks everyone who for the last hour have been with us possibly on the YouTube. Enjoy both the hockey and the football game. Oilers post-game show with Hernan and YTT. That will be across all EST platforms once that one's over. Once we are done with, or the Elks and the Argos are done, we will be on the YouTube channel of Edmonton Sports Talk until they're done, and then we will join the audio stream. Enjoy the games. We will on behalf of Jay, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. We'll talk to you once it's over.